It's the Infectious Groove Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded from Detroit, Michigan, and Jacksonville, Florida. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for Jammy Jams, album reviews, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
Well, hello there. My name is Russ. I'm holding the fort down here in Jacksonville. And along with me this week for the ride is Michelle up in Detroit. Michelle, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
A hearty and heartfelt greeting from Michelle, as always. Oh, and thanks for asking how I'm doing. I'm doing absolutely wonderful. So,
are you?
Yeah, much better now that I'm talking to you, right?
Of course.
Right. Along with us this week, if you've been with us over the past couple of weeks, you know that we have been inviting other guests onto the show to help out with our, to third share our program. And the first people that stepped up to the plate were a bunch of people in the podcast community who have been extremely helpful to us all the way up to this point. And we knew they would jump in and help us out. And so we have this week with us, Chris from the Dadnarok Podcast. Chris, welcome to the Infectious Groove Podcast.
Well, thank you. I mean, I feel like I've kind of been a part of it, you know, in your feedback for quite a while. So
you
it's nice
have
to actually be here with you guys.
I feel like you and Seth are like the unofficial members of the show. Yeah.
There we go. Absolutely. That's a badge. We need a shirt. Unofficial members. Michelle,
can you get on that, please?
I will add it to the list of things to do.
That's going to go on
you'll never see it. No.
Yeah, that's going to go on your super important things list.
Yeah, I'll put it on my Excel spreadsheet.
Right. So having said that, y'all do a little bit of everything like we do. You have your podcast, you put it on YouTube, you do a little bit of everything to do with pop culture, but I'll stop talking about your show. I'll let you talk about your show. What are y'all doing over there and where can people find you?
Well, mainly it was just the audio podcast. It was just Dadnarok. We like starting it with just like family things, and then we did pop culture and ended it with dad jokes. You know, dad joke. Everyone loves a good dad joke.
Mm-hmm.
And after doing that we hit I think we're like 98 episodes, something like that. But we transitioned into video. So the podcast itself is pretty much all but dead, but it's transitioned into everything on YouTube. So say, for instance, right now there's a big show on Netflix called The Sandman by Neil Gaiman. We're covering that. So we're watching it in chunks, and Sean's never seen it. I'm a huge fan. So it's one of those, you know, back and forth, him seeing it for the first time and then me kind of critiquing it for what it was.
So
we do that for
in many ways, it's like what we do here. I've heard the music before. Michelle never has. And we just talk our way.
Yeah, very similar.
Talk our way through it. Oh, I'm number one again. Thank you, Michelle.
You are number one.
Man, I wish we did video for these episodes so people could see that Michelle's constantly
I know you wish we would.
Yeah. So anyways, y'all are working through little bits of pop culture, and it's all pretty much right there on YouTube.
Yeah, just youtube.com/Dadnarok.
Right on.
And you'll find anything and everything we have. And we're a small channel. We're slowly growing, but it's we've changed formats a few times on the shows, but it's one of those. It's something I live in Ohio and we met in New Jersey, but he currently lives in Kentucky. So if we live side by, neighbors would be doing this in the living room. So we figured why not do it online and have other people see if they enjoyed watching us.
Yeah. I mean, that's how more or less what we started was Michelle and I argued about music for years, and then eventually decided to share that argument with the whole world.
And then Kyle and Russ were unemployed, and I was like, you know what you guys need to do? It's something productive.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, that looks fun.
Yeah. I don't know if you even have ever gone back and listened to our first episode, but Michelle was like just sitting there for our first episode, but never told anyone she wanted to even be involved in the show. So then after we recorded the first episode, she's like, hey, can I talk next time? We were like, yeah, no one was stopping you. So
I joined you guys during the gold when you guys were doing the record tournament.
That's
pretty much when I'm not sure. I think I find you guys just do the Twitter, forums.
What with how much Michelle is constantly on Twitter. Yeah, that's understandable. So, anyways, one more time, people can go to YouTube and just if you just go to YouTube and search Dadnarok, your channel's the one that's going to come.
There's so much doing Dadnarok after show, anything like that, and then really any other social media platform, you just type in Dadnarok, TikTok, all those.
It's all going to come up
all over the place. Yeah,
that is one thing. I kid you not. I keep toying with the idea of trying to prod Michelle into starting a TikTok for Infectious Groove because, like, I'm never gonna, and you can get a ton of views and new listeners that way. But I pretty much feel like Michelle has to do that. And Michelle, what's the chances that you'll do that?
I'll put it on my Excel spreadsheet.
And right in the upper corner with the really important things column.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to highlight it and everything.
Fantastic. All right. Well, let's go through the first half of the episode and everything that we always get into. And the first thing we cover is our feedback. So let's get into it.
Feedback, John. Don't worry about that. Right. There's rock and roll be without feedback.
I think my favorite thing about the feedback lately is that Michelle and or Kyle won't know what the feedback is talking about, mostly because they weren't on the episode before.
And you
well,
just
Michelle, that's not. She could have been there and it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. Even if Michelle was there, it wouldn't have mattered. I'm sorry, Michelle. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say you just assume that we don't listen to it when we're not on it.
You told everyone last time you were on here that you don't listen to the show when you're not on it.
I don't know what Kyle does in his free time.
Yeah, who's to say? Kyle could be listening to the episodes. Dave from the Beer in Front podcast writes into us regarding our Michelle last week. As I'm sure you listened to it, we had Sam from the 500 Section Lounge on. We talked about the Elvis concert film, That's the Way It Is. Dave says, not to shortchange other episodes, but I love this one a whole lot. The way everyone geeked out about the film was outstanding, which was a super pleasant surprise for me. I had two guys on the program who had never watched this particular Elvis movie, and it very much could have been, welcome to the second half. Let's talk about the movie. And the two of them were like, it was okay. I'm like, all right, well, thanks for listening.
I can't tell you. I was meant to tell you this last week, but then I forgot. But the sequence of events went, man, from Kyle texting me at work, man, I really don't want to watch an Elvis movie. Man, I don't think I'm going to like this movie. And then like quite literally 10 minutes later, this movie's awesome. You should watch it. I love this movie.
So it's funny because going into that episode, I had actually told Lauren, I said, I'm really worried that Kyle's going to like put this on in the background and like not pay full attention to it. And then we're going to get into in-depth stuff. And Kyle's going to be like, oh, yeah, sure, that's right. And so the dude like flat out outed himself almost at the end of the episode. He was like, I fully intended to put this on and have to pay attention to it. And then I was like, Jesus, this is awesome. And he's like, I couldn't stop watching it.
I'm not kidding. It was like not 10 minutes later. He was like just working himself up, like trying to he was like, I just got to sit down and watch it. I just got to do it. Like, it'll be fine. And then he was like, oh, man, this is great.
Yeah. It's a fantastic film. It really is. It shows Elvis Presley in a light that I think most people had never seen. But anyways, instead of going on about that, because if you'd like to hear more about that, you can hear me go on about it in great detail last week. Richie Armour writes in and says, people say Elvis wasn't original. I'd say he was punk before punk was a thing. He stuck his fingers up to the middleman long before the Sex Pistols or anyone like that. This episode was awesome, and I can't wait to check out the movie, which I didn't screenshot. We had a lot of people write in and just be like, holy crap, I'm going to go watch this movie now. Like, and people asking like where to see it and all of that too. So
that's awesome.
That was great. Aaron from the I Had to Say It podcast just chimed in on some other people's feedback and said, of course, you're giving this episode awesome feedback. This show is awesome. This was a great episode. And then lastly, this is one thing I just want to read here real quick. I did a blog post for the Odd Pods Media website, and it was basically
I meant to read that.
Yeah.
Like literally, I know that was after
Chris,
all the
welcome
things.
to the show.
I meant to. Anyways,
the very short version on this blog post, and if you want to, you can go to oddpodsmedia.com and read it, and it is called Don't Be a Musical Gatekeeper. And the very short version of it is with things like just using Stranger Things as an example. Like, Chris, Kate Bush and Metallica became like a huge thing, and then you have longtime fans of those acts are like, okay, but I knew about it before. It's shameful how you found out about it. You know what I mean? So anyways, Jeff Dobbin writes in and says, there were a lot of great points in the blog post, and I can't agree more. I have countless groups and bands and individual artists from the last 70 years that I love for one reason or another. And when I hear certain songs, I'm transported back to a specific memory that I cherish. I would never admonish someone else for finding it in whatever way they find those songs that I love. Please discover them in whatever means necessary. There are so many great artists that have come and gone, and it's and the current ones that make the gift of music so sweet. And actually, one other thing that I want to talk about, and Michelle, you know this because you read the blog post. In the blog post, I talked about how I used to be that guy where I'd get mad that they sell like Def Leppard t-shirts at Target, and I'd be like, well, you don't know anything about Def Leppard, right? Okay. The day after I wrote this blog post, we went out for dinner, and Lauren was wearing a Pink Floyd t-shirt that she bought at a department store. And the waitress said to Lauren, oh, Pink Floyd, my son just bought a Pink Floyd shirt at Target. And when he brought it home, I said, well, who's Pink Floyd? And he said, I don't know. And so we looked him up on YouTube together and listened to some of their music. And we were like, oh, did you like what they hear? And she was like, yeah, I was surprised. We liked what we heard. So like, hooray that.
Who on planet Earth hasn't heard Pink Floyd?
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, you for starters, Michelle.
But I know who they are. If I saw a t-shirt in public, I wouldn't be like, oh.
I don't know that this matters, and I don't like when people use these descriptors, but it was an African-American woman, and I feel like Pink Floyd's maybe not that big in the African-American community, so maybe that was a thing. The only reason I say is you and I have a mutual friend, Julius, who's African-American, and we went to see a Pink Floyd tribute band together, and we walked in. He was like, I'm going to be the only black guy in this whole place, and then he made a point to keep reminding me the whole night that he was the only black person there.
Yeah.
So maybe that is it. I don't know. But I just, thank you for pointing out the negative in the story, though. But the positive in the story, though, Michelle, was that I think it's awesome that like the day after I did that, a shirt that Lauren bought at a department store led to a story from a stranger about how they bought a shirt at a department store, and now they've all heard Pink Floyd and liked what they heard.
Awesome. Wait, Lauren likes Pink Floyd now?
She liked Pink Floyd in the first place. And so moving right along, our jammies. Michelle, you get all uppity when I don't call you for Jammy Jams first. So hopefully you're going to be ready and we'll share your Jammy Jams with us. Michelle, outside of audiobooks and a few podcasts that no one else has ever heard of, what have you been listening to this week?
I only have a couple. I think this was my Jammy Jam a long time ago, but there's an artist called Betty Who, and I only know this one album that she put out in 2017 called The Valley. She's done a lot of things other than that, but I just forget sometimes.
And that's what you go back to, though, is the one record that you know really well.
Yeah. And she does a cover of I Love You Always Forever.
Oh,
and I think it's really
Donna Lewis.
Yes, I think it's a really great cover, and I really enjoy it. And then there's also another song on the record called Wannabe. Those are my jams from that record. If she's more like a singer-songwriter, I should probably be considered pop.
I want to hear that Donna Lewis cover because I didn't think anybody else remembered that song but me.
Well, there's good news for you because it'll be on the Spotify playlist.
Look at you doing cross promotion. Well done. Well done.
So that has been my Jammy Jams. And then also Take Your Mama by the Scissor Sisters. I found its way to my earworm for the week.
It is such a great song. And actually this weekend we're shooting more videos. Lauren and I are for the YouTube channel. You know, Michelle, all the YouTube videos that you're always on.
Oh yeah.
On our YouTube channel. And we're shooting 2 videos each this weekend. And one that I'm doing is 5 really sad songs, which of course, Jason, Michael Carroll, Alyssa Lies will be on that list. And then 5 really happy songs, and Take Your Mama is definitely one of them. Chris, I don't know if you've heard that song or the Scissor Sisters, but it's like one of the happiest sounding songs ever in the history of the world.
It's what joy sounds like.
It is. So having said that, Chris, let's go over to you. You may not even be ready to go because I personally am in shock that Michelle was like ready to go and had not 1 but 2 Jammy Jams. So like if you need a minute,
we didn't get a half or an unjam or anything.
We didn't get an unjam. We didn't get a half. She was ready to go. So like if you need a minute, take it. And then tell us what your Jammy Jams are.
I'm on the every other week. Like this is my rhythm now.
So now she's got 2 weeks to get two Jammy Jams together.
Yeah, this is good for everyone.
Well, for me, I mean, I've been on a Hootie and the Blowfish kind of kick. Basically, the new stuff, the one that they went ahead and released, Imperfect Circle. So I mean, that's been like repeat over and over and over again for me. And really, the 2 that stand out for me is like Hold On and Not Tonight. They're just 2 songs that I'll like go right to them. But before I listen to you guys, I never really paid attention, like listening all the way through an album. And now I specifically start at 1 and then I just go rather than hitting shuffle. Because shuffle was a big thing for me before. Just hit shuffle and go through the whole album. Yeah. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to go from start to finish.
I'm sure you've heard on the show, I try not to be all like old man yelling at cloud or get off my lawn about it. But like most artists put a lot of time and energy into that, like the sequencing and what, like they don't just go like, I don't know, these songs in this order. So like, are you finding that you're enjoying albums more by doing that instead of shuffling?
I am seeing where some fit better right after another song.
Yeah.
Or how a song really starts, the album really well.
Right.
So yeah, I am seeing things that I've never paid attention to before, just for the fact is listening straight through it.
That's awesome. That's good.
But I shuffle a lot still.
You would.
But just doing, just listening to, and prepping for tonight's show with iTunes. So I use iTunes. If you don't change the song, it'll roll into a song that thinks that's similar to the one you're listening to.
Yep.
And it went right into Godsmack. And literally, it took me back to high school.
Yeah.
And I'm just rocking out the Godsmack. I'll put the essentials on it and I'll just go. But there's a newer song on their album they released in 2018 called Under Your Scars. And it is a fantastic song. And a lot of people would think, Godsmack is a certain type of music.
Right.
This here would make you rethink kind of what Godsmack is.
I'll take that. Like, I don't dislike them and I don't love them. They're just kind of there for me. But I will tell you that I'm a person that's very siloed with them. Like, I think when I think Godsmack, I think one thing. So I would check this song out based on you just saying that it's different than what I expect.
Under Your Scars. I think they've been around so long. They've worked up, I think, enough collateral with their fan base that they will kind of try some things here and there. And every now and then one hits, but then I will always wind up going back to like Voodoo or something like that. And I'll just kind of crank it.
I just want to say that I was laughing because I thought you meant that you were listening to Hootie, and it was like, oh, it's like Hootie? Godsmack. And so I was laughing at that. I wasn't laughing that you were listening to Godsmack. I just want to point that out. Just in case you thought I was laughing at you. I thought that Apple was like, you know what? Two peas in a pod.
That's funny. So a little older Godsmack and the latest from Hootie. Is that what you've been listening to?
That's what I've been listening to recently.
Right on. This is not my Jammy Jams, but it rolls into what you were talking about with the whole where the streaming service will play what it thinks you want to hear next. And today I played Paper Planes by MIA, but the like Michelle knows this. I don't know if you've heard this, Chris, but there's a remix of it with Bun B and Rich Boy where they add 2 rhymes in the middle. They're like 100 times better than the version that everyone knows of the song. So I listened to that specifically. And then right after, Spotify played another version of Paper Planes. Like, it was like, hey, you really like Paper Planes. Like, I put some more Paper Planes in your Paper Planes.
I love it when they do that.
Yeah, I was like, no, I don't want to hear a different version of the same song right now, but thanks, I guess. So anyways, I have 3 Jammy Jams that I want to share, and the 3 of them could not be any more different from one another. One is a ballad from the second Black Crowes album called A Thorn in My Pride that I've always loved that song. I'm actually not as big of a fan of the second Black Crowes record as many people are. I don't think it's bad by any means, but I don't think it's the masterpiece that a lot of people say that is. I think they did like better work on the records after. But there's at least 2 or 3 songs on that second record that are just brilliant. And Thorn in My Pride is one of them. And then, again, I'm telling you, I'm going to shift gears 3 times here. Another song that's been stuck in my head like all week, and I don't know why, is She's a Beauty by the Tubes. Which I just get random parts of it stuck in my head. I don't know why, but
wasn't that in a Scrubs episode?
I don't think so. I've actually been rewatching a lot of Scrubs lately, and I haven't heard it there. So, but I don't think that
I also have been rewatching Scrubs.
Oh, well, that's giant. You and I should do a separate Scrubs podcast. But anyways, the other one, and this is just today, this happened to me, but from Metallica's perfect album, Injustice for All, I woke up this morning, I kid you not, with Harvester of Sorrow stuck in my head.
Oh,
I know. Like what? Like I had a Black Crowes ballad stuck in my head for a couple of days. I had the Tube stuck in my head, and then I'm not kidding you. Like nothing bad happened here. Like Chris, you know the song. Like that's
I absolutely know the song.
Like, let me say this, Michelle, from what you know of Metallica, just whatever you think a song sounds like that's called Harvester of Sorrow, that's what that song sounds like. Yeah, and I don't like nothing's been wrong.
Is that like a bad omen to start the day with?
That's what I'm saying. You would think so, right? Like it's almost like if this recording, like if something went wrong with this recording tonight or whatever else, or like you couldn't make it or Michelle couldn't make it, I'd be sitting here being like Harvester of Sorrow, like then yes, it definitely would have been. But for some reason, that's been in my head, and it's weird because it's not even like my favorite song on the record or anything like that. I don't.
Wait, singing it again?
No, you got one.
I do think I know that song though, if you were singing it correctly.
Yeah, I'm certain that I was. It's not like Hatfield's hard to mimic. But yeah, so I'm just shocked that one was in my head, but I felt like mentioning it because I'm not kidding you. All day today, like the drum break into the guitar parts, like right before each chorus and everything, has just been, if I'm sitting at my desk just doing spreadsheets and stuff, I've got that in my head for why I don't know. So anyways, those were our Jammy Jams, and I did just now realize that when we welcomed the show, I got so excited and taken with doing all the intros and everything that I didn't even mention what it is we're going to talk about when we come back. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, The reason why Chris has made time for us on this show is because we are going to get into a cover battle. And earlier today, Michelle told me she has so many good things to say about both versions of this song.
Yep.
So we're going to cover that when we come back. We're going to get into a cover battle. The song is Land of Confusion. The version's by Genesis and Disturbed. You're listening to the Infectious Groove Podcast on the Odd Pods Media Network.
Hi, I'm Tina Jaramillo.
And I'm Hillary Doherty.
And we host the Muck Podcast, where we discuss the dark and sometimes weird true stories in American politics.
Hey, Tina, did you know that Elvis crashed the Nixon White House for the sole purpose of getting a DEA badge, and it worked?
What? Or how a gun control advocate senator out of California engaged in gun trafficking with notorious gang leader Shrimp Boy.
Shrimp Boy, I remember him. Okay, so, we cover all of that and more from maladies, madness, mischief, and murder in U.S. politics.
And we also host a bi-weekly interview segment called Lil Muck.
We interview politicians, journalists, activists, and others who share their experiences in politics.
Find the Muck Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts and check us out on social media at the Muck Podcast.
Hi, I'm Dayton Johnson, the host of the Docking Base 77 podcast. I love to talk about movies. First of all, it was Brad Bird's directorial debut. Once from the get-go proving that he is one of the best directors in Hollywood. There, I said it. It's so much fun. The jokes are great, like I said, and you have such a great voice cast. Harry Connick Jr. as a beatnik was a stroke of genius to cast him. I mean, come on. I love to talk about music. I want to talk about the first song on the album, Our Lips Are Sealed. As far as I'm concerned, this is a perfect pop song. It's catchy, it's fun, it's not quite 3 minutes long. The vocals are great. It's just so much fun, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a perfect pop song. And I have a lot of friends that like to do so as well.
The witches are as long as they're the creepy, sexy witches, you're going to be looking like the neck down. Okay, good. But
come back to us, Dave. Come back to us.
No, I'm going with the witches.
The witches are definitely much more nightmare fuel. But the fact that they look like the Texas Chainsaw Centerfolds.
We have a lot of fun, and we hope you'll give us a listen. You can find us on Podbean, Good Pods, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks, and remember, when it comes to watching movies and listening to music, physical media is better than streaming.
Welcome back. It's the second half of the Infectious Groove Podcast. You're being welcomed here by Russ and Michelle, who is super duper excited about this particular cover battle.
Just thrilled.
Giddy,
if you
even.
can see it in her face, though.
Yeah, it really is. It's really something to behold. And that third voice that you're hearing there is Chris from the Dadnarok Podcast, and we'll give him a chance at the end to tell you again where to find him. It's not even really podcast anymore. Dadnarok YouTube channel, yeah.
For the most part, yeah. That's kind of how we've been transitioned.
Right on. So, as we always do, every third episode, we get into a cover battle, and I pick what I think are two, or at least one very well-known song. And actually, we have some episodes coming up where we're going to get into that territory of things like I don't think people knew were covers. Like a big, huge hit where people are like, oh, they didn't even do that originally? Okay. That type of thing. But this particular week, yeah. Well, that's you every week. But I'm talking about everyone else.
Haha.
So this week we are going to get into a song called Land of Confusion, which was a gigantic hit for the band Genesis, and then Disturbed covered it. And I was kind of surprised, and this is not to put you on the spot, Chris, and this isn't part of our main discussion, but were you kind of surprised when this just kind of popped out? Like, I was like, what a rad cover for them to do. Like, I just was kind of surprised that they did it.
I don't think I found it immediately. I'm kind of weird when it comes to remakes.
Mm-hmm.
So if I truly like the original, I don't even personally always like when the original band remakes that song.
Right.
So when I get like attached to something, I don't like it when other things change it. And I don't want to give away anything, but I enjoyed it.
Right on. Yeah, I always tell people the cover I think that's most surprised me in my entire life was when Sturgill Simpson did like a bluegrass country cover of In Bloom by Nirvana. And when you say like you didn't really get into this at first, I always think of that because I had a friend tell me for like 3 months, he was like, you got to hear Sturgill's cover of In Bloom. It's really good. And every time he said it, I'd go, no, it isn't. like without even hearing. And then I heard it and I was blown away. It's stunningly good. But anyways, back to Genesis. This song was originally released in 1986 on the Invisible Touch album.
That's the year I was born.
It was the year you were born. So at least one good thing came out that year with the Invisible Touch record. Go on.
What?
Oh, I thought I was going to be number one again. Land of Confusion was the third single off of that record. It hit number 4 in the US. It went all the way up to number 14 in the UK. I say all the way up to 14 in the UK for a reason. We'll get there when we get to Disturbed. Billboard magazine reviewed the track and said it has an anxious beat and a tentatively hopeful lyric. Cashbox magazine called it biting and aggressive for Genesis. And the music video was an enormous hit. And I don't know if the music video is before either of your time or no. I know it's before Michelle's time, obviously. Chris, do you remember the music video for this?
As of earlier today.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, I was a little young when the original came out.
So I wasn't familiar then, and I'm still not now, but there's Michelle, the video circles around puppets and war.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the puppets that are in the video are like caricatures of the 3 members of Genesis and pretty much every political figure. And I think almost every celebrity really around that time.
It's fantastically creepy.
Yeah, it is really creepy. But apparently those puppets originally come from a UK sketch show. So it was like a big, huge thing that Genesis used them in this video, from what I understand.
Name the other 2 members of Genesis.
Mike Rutherford and Tony Banks.
I wouldn't know if you're right or wrong.
Okay, but I'm right, though.
I just wanted to see if you would know it.
And then did you know that there were 2 other members of Genesis before the lineup that you probably know, those 3?
Was one of them Peter Gabriel?
One of them was Peter Gabriel. Very good. And I'm not going to remember, but there was another member of the band as well. And he actually left first. And so then there was 4 of them. And then when Peter Gabriel left, the album that they released after that was called And Then There Were 3, which is great.
Really on the nose there.
Yeah. So then Disturbed on their 2006 album 10,000 Fists covered the song Land of Confusion. It was the 4th single off of their record. Their video is also memorable because it was an animated video by Todd McFarlane, who had done Pearl Jam videos and is well known like in the comic industry. I would say it's less memorable, first of all, because it's a cover, and second of all, because music videos had really started to die down by like 2006 or so, but it's a great video to watch. I mean, all McFarlane animation is great. Their version of it reached number 1 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock chart. It was their first number 1 hit, and it got all the way up to number 79 in the UK. So the UK folks did not like this version of Land of Confusion. Genesis did slightly better at number 14 in the UK with their version.
Is Phil Collins British?
Phil Collins is British, yes.
Okay.
Now, see, Chris and in the audience, these are the questions I usually get via text every day.
Who did I just ask you? Oh, Fleetwood Mac.
And Fleetwood Mac is kind of complicated, so I explain. Here's my favorite thing. So I get a text from here's a little window into my world, everyone. So I get a text from Michelle that says, "Is Fleetwood Mac British?" So then I detail for her who in the band is British and who is not, like each person in Fleetwood Mac, who is British, who is not. And then I get this back, and I want to make sure I quote you directly on this, Michelle. So correct me if I don't get this whole thing right. Oh.
Well, I knew that Lindsay and Stevie weren't, but I guess I never heard any of the other people talk. So how am I supposed to know? How would I know?
I can't believe I'm going to derail this much. Why do you need to know is my question. Like, why
don't you need to know?
But then you ask me and you do nothing with the information.
No, I store it up here.
Oh, Chris, as a longtime listener of the show, and I'm putting you on the spot and in the middle right now, would you say Michelle, quote, stores it right up here?
Through experience, I would probably say unlikely.
Now, let me ask you a question, Michelle. Have you, in fact, stored it up here and then maybe lost the key?
So here's the things I've stored up there is that you said kind of, and I cannot tell you, and you just said them again, and I could not tell you one person that you named. I couldn't even tell you the other people in Genesis, and you just said it.
But it's all up here.
It's all up here somewhere.
It's in that Rolodex, so when it needs to come up, it comes up.
Yeah, like probably when I'm real hammered at music trivia, I'll know it.
Yeah, that, or here's when it comes up. Is if you ever feel the need to prove me wrong.
absolutely when I know shit.
Yeah. Then you're like, no, that's not what you said 4 years ago in 3 weeks and 4 days.
And then I pull up my Excel spreadsheet
Yeah.
with all your quotes on
I
it.
knew this was going to come in handy.
But then what was the show 2 weeks ago about?
Yeah, Michelle, the show you were on 2 weeks ago.
It was with Seth.
It was with Seth.
And we talked about Deja and Tendu.
Nope.
We talked about the
Prince,
Devil
here,
and
how
God.
about this? Let me see if I can help rattle the hamster around there. It was your album pick, and you had the band right.
We talked about the Devil and God.
We did talk about the Devil and God.
Anyways,
Are raging inside
sorry,
of me.
I got us way off.
Having said that, let's talk about now, Michelle. I know you have a ton of notes about what you like about everything to do with both of these. So let's, please try and pare down all the super positive things that you have to say about both of these.
Are we doing both?
No, I'm just saying as a guideline as we move through, please try and pare down everything.
Okay.
But for you, is there anything at all that you, and I'm being serious, is there anything at all that you like about the original?
So the original for me is more nostalgic. My mom is a pretty big, Phil Collins Genesis fan when I was growing up. A lot of mostly just his hits, but there's a lot of stuff that as soon as I hear it, I am back in time. We used to put it on and clean the house. So the song I knew and I really enjoyed it, but it would not be my top probably 20 Genesis or Phil Collins songs.
See, that's what earlier today I wanted to ask you this, and I thought I'll just save it for the show. You don't dislike Phil Collins and or Genesis. Just this song,
I
you
actually
could take or
enjoy
leave.
it. And I don't know if it might just be, what did that one people call it? Aggressive?
It has an anxious beat and
Yep.
is biting and aggressive.
Yes, I would agree with that. I just don't think, and what's weird is because if it was coming from somebody else, I think I would like it. Not Disturbed though. Anyways,
We go into the future.
Spoilers.
I don't know. So I guess it's one of those songs where I never, because it was just nostalgia for me, I never sat down and I didn't hear it. I didn't actually hear.
And now that you found that for you, you weren't missing anything.
I wasn't missing anything, and lyrically, it is a good song lyrically, in my opinion. It just doesn't do anything. It doesn't move me lyrically either. But if someone turned it on at a bar for a jukebox, I would be like, turn this shit off. It would just be there. So
Hold on one second. I'm just scratching down a note for what I'm allowed to play at a jukebox and what I'm not. Okay. Just so you know, Michelle, even though I'm in Jacksonville now, whenever you say you're out somewhere, I connect to that jukebox and play things on purpose.
I fucking knew it.
I'm just kidding. Chris, what do you like about the original? I have to assume you like the original more than Michelle, who just in so many words said, I don't like this song that much.
For me, I kind of hashtag Michelle is awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah. By the way, yeah, they started that hashtag, Michelle.
Because I am awesome. Thank you.
That was the most fun I've ever had on Twitter, by the way.
That was.
I love it.
But it's nostalgia for me. Just listening to it, I really never truly slowed it down and listened before I knew we were doing that for this show here.
Mm.
But listening to it, I was like, it was spot on what was going on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Between that, the music video, like I said, the music video is creepy, but seeing Ronald Reagan as a Jim Henson's Muppet character, and the Superman cape and everything he's putting on, and I thought it was brave to put out. I put it that way.
Oh, at that time and place for sure, because we barely ever talk politics on the show, but in the 80s and through, at least I'd say through the late 90s, it was very frowned upon to criticize anything to do with government, whatever side of the fence you fell on. So yeah, I feel like that very well is, because you run the risk of two things. Number one, people across America just being mad at your band in the first place, or two, what Roger Waters runs into these days, which is anytime he opens his mouth, oh, well, you're British, so, stay out of our business. I totally agree with you that, yeah, it's
they risked alienating their fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's some of them, they knew they could probably lose, a certain group of fans right out the gate when they started listening to it. But yet they still had the nerve and the backbone to go ahead and release the song.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing too, and Michelle touched on this some, for me, when I first heard this, I don't want to, shocked is kind of overstating it. But now Genesis had already gone through many changes. We talked about the lineup changes and whatnot, but in their sound, they had already gone through a ton of changes in the sound. But at the time, that this track came out, they were very much known for like the softer rock side of Genesis, and like Phil Collins's ballads and things like that were what, when I heard Phil Collins' voice as a kid, that's what I expected, was like softer rock. And this song is like, I mean, it's not as hard as the Disturbed cover, but it's a much harder song.
There's a pretty good bass line in it.
Hell yeah,
the whole song.
Yeah. So for me, I love that about the original. Like it doesn't leave me going, oh man, I wish the rest of Genesis stuff was this hard. But like I love that they did that. And also, to your point, I don't think you can deliver the message of this song in a softer way than it's delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah. You agree?
I absolutely agree. And there's a part of the song too, where it kind of about halfway through, it changes pace.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of delivers another type message within, and then it speeds back up.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought just the pacing of the whole song is spot on.
They played a little bit of the video. I wanted to see the puppets you were talking about, so I looked it up real quick, and they play a little bit on Spotify when you play the song.
Oh, and so now you've seen the
That's
puppets.
Creepy. Yeah.
So you agree?
Also, why is it 1,000,000 years long? Oh, we're not to that part of it. Okay.
Why is what 1,000,000 years long?
The song.
I don't have the runtime in front of me, but it can't be more than 5 minutes.
4 minutes and 46 seconds.
And that's 1,000,000 years to you.
Yeah, there's like a whole middle section that get it out. Anyways,
so
I think I jumped the gun here.
The middle
she's
section.
talking about the spot that I just said I really enjoyed.
That's the one.
Well, Chris, welcome to my life.
Cut it out.
That's the thing where I go on about a thing that I love, and then Michelle's like, you know what really sucks is everything you just said.
I'm entitled to my own opinions, damn it.
Yeah, I know. I
now feel like a part of the show.
Yeah. Welcome in.
Welcome.
So what do you like about the cover? I'll kick us off with this. We'll go to Chris and then back over to Michelle. So because Michelle, I feel, is going to be the longest winded of professing her love for the cover of the song.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm.
For me, if what you liked about the original was the harder edge, which is what I was drawn to in the first place, Disturbed takes it and puts it up to 11. I mean, it's like this is almost like back in the mid 90s, someone told me that White Zombie did a cover of Brick House by the Commodores. And they were like, dude, you got to hear the cover of Brick House by the Commodores by White Zombie. And I was like, yeah, I really don't have to hear that though, because I know what it's going to sound like. You know, and then lo and behold, I heard the White Zombie cover of Brick House, and it sounds exactly like White Zombie covering Brick House. And I say all of that to say that before I heard this, if you were like, hey, Disturbed did Land of Confusion, do you want to hear it? I would be like, can I do my impression of it first? You know, and like I feel like I would have been dead on with like what I thought Disturbed was going to do with this.
It's the grunts that do it for me.
Well,
is that what you call them?
You're gonna get your piece.
Okay.
Do you have a list, Michelle, of everything you loved about the cover?
Yeah, I'm trying to whittle it down right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks. So that for me, like, and everything I said about how I knew what it was going to sound like. That's not to say that's bad. Like I expected Disturbed to do a harder version of the song, and that's what they did. So I like that. Chris, we're not to the point yet where we're talking about like which one's your favorite or why, but was there anything about the cover that you liked?
I mean, essentially what you just said. I love the harder aspect of it. It's funny how Michelle brought up the grunts, but that's what I expect.
Right.
And adding that to it, I got what I knew I was getting.
And to swing it back to what you talked about earlier too, I like that they still find a way to do that halftime breakdown. Like it's not as delicate as it is in the original Genesis version, but you still know what they're doing.
Yeah, and I love they capture this song. There's a angry meanness to it naturally, and I think Disturbed did that as much credit as they could actually do to it. I think that's why I enjoy that.
You point out something that I didn't even think of till you said it, but with Disturbed, they could get so angry that they're like muttering the lyrics almost. And I think he made a point to like, I'm singing these lyrics clearly because I don't want the message of the song lost outside of the grunting. but yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I think the idea was to make sure that people hear that which the message is still unfortunately relevant, then and now when they covered it. So Michelle, remember that we do try and keep the show on a certain timeline. So please don't take too long saying how much you loved the cover. But was there honestly anything at all that you liked about the cover?
So I really do like that a band like Disturbed covered a Genesis song. I just think that in general is awesome. You know, I think a lot of times people cover, I know that you said that it was like mainstreamish, but when the cover came out, like people who didn't grow up listening to Genesis or Phil Collins, I mean, it's not one of their top hits, you know, it's not one of the ones that a lot of people think about. So I think that just the fact that you would never really think a band like Disturbed would cover a Genesis song, but they covered the hardest one. Hardest is not like difficult, and so I do give them a lot of credit. I do think it sounds exactly what I thought. I mean, I'd heard it before, but exactly what a Disturbed cover of the song would sound like. I wouldn't say I dislike Disturbed. They're just not my jam. I would say that the grunts do it for me. Normally, like anything in that genre, like System of a Down or Disturbed or anything like that. It's always the vocal noises, not the words
that turn you off.
That I'm in for. But I think they did a good job. I think that it was different enough and to be a good cover, and it was disturbified. And so you knew it was still Disturbed. So I mean, personally, the song itself, just the song, is not my jam, but I think they did a good job covering that song.
That's fair.
That's as positive we're going to get out of her.
Jesus, I think that's the most positive Michelle's been about anything ever on this show.
I've been thinking about positive stuff all day, trying to think of something to say about it.
Well, that's
getting ready for her to stomp on my feelings here.
I already did once, didn't I?
Yeah. Don't worry. I've come to learn that the more she knows you, the more it's coming your way. Just FYI.
Yeah, unfortunately. I can't help it.
So the last two questions that we asked, first one up is, which one is your favorite and why? Overall, I still like the original version of this better. But to bring it back to something Michelle said earlier, like for me, and I don't know if this goes for you, for both, Michelle, so you can clarify when we get around to you here in a second, but you could put on either version of this and I wouldn't be like, oh, good God, put the original on, or, oh, Jesus, would you play the cover instead of this? Like, but overall, like, gun to my head, I still like the original better. And I think it probably comes down to just they, like what you said earlier, Chris, like they were the ones that had the guts to put that message out first. And I do like the bridge breakdown better in the Genesis version than I do Disturbed, like slightly. So for me, my favorite overall is still going to be the original. Chris, which one do you like better and why?
I mean, I'm going to wind up Disturbed.
Right.
It's just like I grew up when I got into, it was like high school and everything. I found Metallica, I found Disturbed, I found Godsmack, I found all these groups. And like when I think music, when I enjoy something, I like, maybe it's the mood I'm in as well. Like I'm the same with you. If either of them are on, I'm not going to say, turn it off or change it. But I like,
maybe the Genesis video, you would ask somebody to just darken the screen or something.
Yeah, that was a little odd.
Yeah.
But just the level of angry in it, I think, like I said earlier, it fits the song itself. And just, I think, what's his name? It's David Draymond, I think, the lead singer of Godsmack. Yeah, Godsmack. Whoops, wrong band.
Well, not to be a jerk, but close enough. But yes, Disturbed, yes.
I think his voice fits it. So I thought the whole thing was very fitting, and I just enjoyed that one more, really.
Yeah. So real quick before we go to Michelle, so here's what I said earlier. If I go to the jukebox, I'm probably going to play the Genesis version of Land of Confusion. But if you got there before me and played the Disturbed version, I'm not going to be like, oh, damn it. Yeah. So vice versa, right? Like if I got there before you, but if you were going there first, you would just play the Disturbed version.
I'd probably go to the Disturbed version, yes.
Michelle, you don't get to opt out on this. You don't get to not pick one or the other. And you ask me on almost every cover battle, if at some point in the cover battle, you ask me if you can opt out. No, there's no passing. There's no opting out. Which version do you like better and why?
I'm going to have to go with the original as well. And that's only because I enjoy Genesis and Phil Collins as a whole more. That's just more my speed. As much as I like the aggression and the grunts and stuff in Disturbed, it's just a little much for my everyday listening. Like that whole genre is something that I never really explored, but I appreciate it that it's there. I don't, not like I'm turning it off. It's not the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I would definitely have to just go with the Genesis version just because I like them as a band more. That's about it.
And that's fair.
I've got a 6-year-old daughter that puts her fist in the air for 10,000 fists when I'm driving in the car. So
Right on.
It's awesome.
I know that we've discussed this mildly on the show before, but with Michelle having a child now that's just over 1 year old, and you have that age-old adage of, I hope one day you have a child that acts the same way that you act. I cannot wait for 15 or so years from now to hear from Michelle about what goes on in her car regarding music and the opinions shared in the car. That's going to be...
Better not be Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It'll be Pink Floyd.
Yeah, which would be worse.
Red Hot Chili Peppers would be worse, but I could just see you planting seeds with Zoe now so that she just drives me nuts later.
Well,
let's also get a, hey, can we go to the jungle? And I know she's asking, welcome to the jungle from GNR. I'm like, oh, and she's singing there, back there singing it. I'm like, I don't know if I should be proud of a 6-year-old or I should be disturbed of a 6-year-old in the backseat.
You should be proud. Also, Michelle, one thing I'll mention real quick is Zoe has just passed her first birthday, right?
Yeah.
And I had just mentioned that I can't wait till she's 16 and hear what she's recommending in your car. I want you to know that Pink Floyd has 15 studio records, and I can give her one for every birthday leading up to her 16th birthday. I can play.
They're going to get lost in the mail.
I will hand deliver them. And
it's going to be like one of those cheesy Hallmark movies where like she finds them in the attic when I died. And she'll be like, oh, Russ sent me all these letters and I never got them.
Yep. It's going to be exactly like that. Let's get into the last question. And again, Michelle, I'm going to tell you, you are not allowed to pass on this. Which version would you recommend and why? And this was, yes, this question is your fault. So which version of the song would you recommend? If someone else was running up to the jukebox and they said, I'm going to play Land of Confusion, you would say, oh, play this version. And here's why.
Oh, actually me?
Yes.
I would say to play the original because I like it better.
Because it's all about what's falling on your ears.
Yeah, I don't have a real, like I said, I don't mind the Disturbed version, but if I had to pick one, it would be the original. I just think that it's all in all a better song.
That's fair. Chris, I'm going to assume that you're going to say that you would recommend the cover as well, but I don't want to make assumptions. Which one would you recommend to people listen to?
I may give a Michelle cop-out answer to this. It would depend on the person I am talking to.
That's
if
fair.
I know they're more my age and like more towards, the music that I kind of gravitate towards and they've never heard of it, I would give them the Disturbed version and then say, hey, it was a remake, check this out.
Right on.
Or the other way around, say, hey, this was done, then it was redone. Knowing if someone likes remakes, this is weird for me. Like I said earlier, I'm not a remake person. I'm a huge Metallica fan. I couldn't stand S&M forever.
Yeah.
And they were just redoing their own music. So when someone redoes a song from someone else, it takes a lot either to get me to like it. And this one here was like, yeah.
Total sidebar, because you mentioned Metallica and covers. I don't know how much, well, I know Michelle doesn't frequent karaoke. I don't know how much karaoke you've been to in your life, Chris, but a karaoke bar staple is that someone every single night that you're at karaoke will sing Turn the Page by Bob Seger. And then they will always sing it off time. Like they're always like just behind the beat for the song. This is just a thing that happens in every karaoke bar I've ever been in my entire life. And at the current place that myself and Lauren go to, there's a guy who sings Turn the Page, but he sings the Bob Seger version, but he sings it like the music is the Bob Seger version, but he sings it like James Hetfield, and then he's still off time.
So
that's almost a skill.
Yeah. In some ways, you have to admire it. For me, here's my thing. I would recommend the cover and for a variant of what you said, Chris, where here. Okay. So here's my thing though. And this is, I'm going to use, I guess we'll call it a cop out. Like it would depend on the audience, right? I feel like anybody my age or older is gonna know the Genesis version already. Like it was such a huge hit.
Usually do.
You're right, Michelle. Old people usually do. But I feel like anybody in the current generation, first of all, might not. I mean, the Disturbed version came out in 2006, so it's old enough now to where it might not even be remembered. And then after they listen to that and be like, "Oh, this is a badass song," be like, "Okay, well, it's even older than and play the."
Gotcha, bitch! It's a cover.
Yeah, gotcha, bitch. It's old. So I just, that to me, I feel like anybody that I would talk to that I could recommend this song to, the Genesis version, would be like, yeah, dude, I know Land of Confusion by Genesis. Whereas I feel like somebody from the current generation might not even know the Disturbed version, and then so they'd get hit with the double whammy, of like, oh yeah, and then here's an older great version of it too.
Did I tell you that this is kind of similar to what we're talking about, but I've just discovered that I'm an old at work now. Like I'm the old person.
You just now found that out?
Yeah. Like they don't know who Ace of Base is. They don't know. Well, you didn't know that song either. That Hurdle song, that Blue by Eiffel 65. And I'm the old now. All right.
It hurts the soul, doesn't it? I got hit with a sir when I was picking up my brother from basic training. I was like, oh, that hurt.
I know. I was like, how are you? Because they fool you. They talk to you and you're like, oh, like we're cool and we're the same age. And then when you talk about anything that I like.
Let me tell you exactly how old you sound right now. And this is from a person who's far older than you. You just referred to, quote, the kids as they. You were like, that's how they get you. That's how they talk to you. I don't care. I don't care if they know or don't know who Ace of Base is. You just sounded so old.
Sometimes I feel like I'm young, and then I talk to a young person, and I'm like, nope. You guys are different. You guys are built different. I don't like.
Is that the problem with the kids today, Michelle? And also, do you care to comment on whether or not they're on your lawn?
Oh, I don't give a fuck about my lawn.
Then you haven't reached excessive old yet.
No, but I have reached the old point where I just put on HGTV and just watch it for hours. So that's a new skill I've unlocked.
That's old. There used to be a Detroit talk station that I listened to when I lived there, and they would refer to people like in your age range to my age range as a veteran young guy, which like I feel is, that's fair. That way you're not young.
I like it.
Having said that, we have talked through this Land of Confusion, Genesis versus Disturbed, and I think it was a fantastic discussion. Even though Michelle started telling me at about 9 this morning that she did not want to have this discussion, I feel like it was a success.
That's not what I said.
No, you didn't say you didn't want to have the discussion. You just indicated that you didn't like either of these songs and that you hate Genesis and Disturbed. That's more accurate, right?
That's not what I said either, but okay.
Right. So if you're a longtime listener of the show, you're very familiar with myself and Michelle, and you may have at some point said, who is Chris and what is he doing here? We covered it at the top of the show, but we will give him one more time to talk through what it is y'all do on your show and where folks can find you. Take it away.
So I'm one half of our show. I'm Chris. My co-host Sean is also a big part of it. We do a lot of pop culture stuff over on YouTube now. It's just if you type in youtube.com/Dadnarok or Dadnarok After Show, you'll find anything and everything. If you love popular shows, we have like the House of Dragon coming up. We're doing an after show on the Lord of the Rings, Andor, Star Wars stuff, all that. Plus, the Sandman is happening right now. We make sure we do a recap. We do our best not to spoil anything beyond what we're talking about. But right now with me and Sandman, I love it so much. I'm having a hard time not spoiling. Sean gave me a hard stop on certain episodes because he knew I would continue to watch. He's like, he knows nothing of it. But yeah, go over there, check them out. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and then join our community.
Right on.
Tell us a dad joke.
Where did Captain Hook buy his spare hook?
I don't know.
The secondhand store.
I love a good dad joke. That was a good one.
And you get the benefit of her never remembering that you said that as soon as 5 minutes from now. So.
I can use it again in a few months.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm gonna go upstairs and tell Kyle though.
Yeah,
great.
You come back on the episode on the show in like December, and if you happen to get another Michelle episode, you can be like, "Hey, do you want to hear that dad joke?" And then just tell the same one again, and we'll wait.
The same one again.
Wait for her reaction.
Right on.
Chris, thank you so much for stopping by, brother. I know I've labored this point lately, but like we knew that certain people in the podcast community would step up and help us out. So you're one of the first names I knew would go, hey, we need help, and you would come in. So thank you so much for stopping by. And I personally have a problem with you starting the hashtag Michelle is awesome, but I've made my point on it
Twitter. Was trending for a while. We had it going.
Yeah, it was trending for a while, which is upsetting to my soul. But we can.
That's because Michelle is awesome.
I don't like to spread lies on the show. Next week on the program, Kyle is going to return to the show, who probably also won't remember what was talked about last week now, which is weird for Kyle, but it will probably happen. And it is going to be Aaron from the I Had to Say It podcast, which is another favorite of ours, is going to sit down with us to discuss an album review. And this one is Kyle's pick. So Michelle, you may or may not have dodged a bullet on that. We'll find out. But here's the thing though, you're still going to hear whatever album it is all around your house all week anyways. So did you really dodge a bullet in that case?
I'm gonna wear headphones.
Like we always say about this time, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
Bye. The Infectious Groove Podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Kasalecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.